I love how when I finally decide to film a video, all of the children in my complex decide this is the time to start shrieking like bandits. This is now. We're gonna scream like we're getting murdered. Right at this moment. Hey guys, this is your captain speaking. I know it's been a hot second. I haven't posted in I think 3 months. Whoops. I have no real excuse other than my brain is broken, and so is the world, and both seem unfixable at this point. So we're just gonna try and move on and try to do our best. I hope you are doing much of the same. I hope you're doing all right. If not, it's okay to not feel all right now. That's sort of why I'm decided to make some more videos for you, so you can chill with me and we can just forget about stressful stuff and just relax and talk about seemingly meaningless things. All right, let's get a move on with the point of this video. Cassette tapes. This is sort of a topic that came up on my other video where somebody had commented that they wanted to see me talk about my very minimal cassette collection, but I feel bad that I haven't actually gone around to doing that, because I've been wanting to do it for a while anyways, but you know, brain don't work too good sometimes, head empty, no thoughts, but it's never too late, I guess. So I don't have a huge collection of cassette tapes. I just have a few that I've gotten at some thrift stores. Some of these I'm actually belong to my homeboy Vic. We kind of just share them, because why not? Sharing is caring. It's a fundamental part of being a good friend. I only have, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, I guess, throwback, more like classic cassettes or albums. I have a couple new ones as well, sort of newer albums, but I might show those at the end since we have to get through these guys first. I suppose we should start off with, I'm not gonna say the best, but my personal favorite in this stack right here. It is my Lost Boys original motion picture soundtrack cassette. I found this on a good thrift store day. It was me and the pals. We went on a little one-day mini vacation to Palm Springs during the summer, which was a bad choice on our part, but we sort of just walked around and went to a couple thrift stores down there, got some lunch, did our thing. I was lucky to walk in one of the thrift stores and my eyes went straight to this. I saw it from across the room. There was like a basket of their cassette tapes, and none of them really caught my eye like this one, because I could see it clearly. The Lost Boys. If you don't know, this is definitely one of my favorite 80s movies of all time, but also just generally speaking, one of my top 10 favorite movies, because you really can't go wrong with 80s vampire boys with mullets. Yeah, you really can't go wrong. But this is the cassette version of the soundtrack of the movie. I'm pretty sure, what does it say here? think it was released in, obviously I don't think you could see it, but 1987. Let's open it up. And there it is. Ooh, wow. Let's look at the little leaflet, pamphlet, whatever you want to call it, in here. It's just a piece of paper. And that sort of just has the track list on there. Here's the actual cassette here. This is obviously side 1. And here is side 2. Or you can call it side A or side B, whatever your heart desires. It's sort of a clear casing, and it has sort of gray stickers on the inside. And it has the little song lists on each side. Why don't we go down the list using the little pamphlet on the inside. So side 1, oh, did you hear my leg crack? Side 1 starts off with Good Times performed by INXS and Jimmy Barnes. This song's really fun. Just a fun, it sort of sounds like, to me, like a Aerosmith inspired song. I don't know if that was sort of what they were going for, but it sounds like an 80s Aerosmith sort of classic rock song. Although I realized after watching it, it's not really in the movie a lot. It's like there for maybe like up to 15 seconds of the movie, but it's a really fun song. If you guys know the Death by Stereo part in that movie, an excellent part of the movie. I know it plays then for like half a second. So yeah, the second song on this list is, I would say, probably one of the more iconic songs from the movie, which is Lost in the Shadows, parentheses, The Lost Boys, because the title's actually within the song and said a bunch of times. Sort of the chorus, I think. But it is performed by Lou Gramm. Written by him, too. And that song plays when they have this rad motorcycle moment where they're riding their motorcycles on the beach, I assume illegally. But it's really exciting and fun, and the song goes really, really well with that vibe. Also, the lyrics are like perfect for this movie, because obviously it was inspired by it. Next song is Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by Roger Daltrey. And this is written by Elton John, which is neat. It's a good song too. I mean, there's hardly a bad song on here. We have another INXS and Jimmy Barnes song, Laying Down the Law, as the 4th song on the cassette. And again, that's another very like Aerosmith 80s rock kind of jam. I think I definitely prefer Good Times over that song, but it's still sort of a fun song. And now we're on to side 2 of the cassette. And this one starts off with the opening song of the actual movie, sort of the title song, which is People Are Strange. But this isn't the Doors version. It's performed by Echo and the Bunnymen. It's fun. But it's originally, obviously, the Doors song. But this was a excellent choice of opening song for this type of movie. It really explains the whole sort of environment that the movie is set in without having to explain anything. It really sets it off really well, and it, you know, makes sense for a spooky vampire 80s movie set in a weird part of Southern California. A strange part, if you will. The next song is, again, I think probably the most recognizable song from the movie, other than Lost in the Shadows. This one's Cry Little Sister. It's sort of like the song for this movie. It's like the theme, I guess, yeah, it's the theme. Again, works really well for the mood and the movie. And then we have Power Play by Eddie and the Tide. Good song. Again, I'm just going to keep saying good song because it is. The next song is I Still Believe. Now, this is personally one of, if not my favorite part of the movie, because it features a very muscular, shirtless, oiled up man with a ponytail singing and playing the saxophone and sort of doing this very like 80s rock ballad. It's so good. If you've never seen that and don't really care for vampires or anything, you just need to watch that part. It's life-changing. Also, I Still Believe is a very motivational song. So it's a good one. I like that one. The next song is Beauty Has Her Way, which is a really good song, sort of on its own. Just, you know, typical 80s sort of song. And the last song on the list is To the Shock of Miss Louise, performed by Thomas Newman. I haven't been saying the performed by the other ones. I Still Believe was performed by Tim Capello, I think that's how you say his name. And that's the sexy sax guy. And then Beauty Has Her Way is performed by Mummy Calls. And To the Shock of Miss Louise is performed by Thomas Newman. And To the Shock of Miss Louise is actually sort of like just a carnival song. Sort of like a circus clown, sort of like what plays in It, sort of that vibe, because it is set on a boardwalk where they have sort of a little amusement park there. So, of course, there has to be some sort of state fair, circusy type music, and that's the last song on the list, which is kind of weird, but yeah, it's there. So yeah, that was the Lost Boys movie soundtrack cassette. Again, definitely one of my fave things that I own. Next up, I don't know if you know who this is. I'm just kidding. This is sort of like a quintessential Michael Jackson album. I mean, most of his albums are pretty quintessential, but we got Bad by Michael. I find this is one of the only, or at least the main cassette that I could put on if I'm around a group of people. Obviously, I'm not around groups of people that much anymore, but that's besides the point. But if you're around a group of people and you don't know what cassette to put on out of all of these, I would say Michael Jackson's Bad's probably the safest bet, because I feel like everybody in their lifetime has enjoyed at least one of these songs, if not all of them. This is also a 1987 release, just like The Lost Boys. Apparently it was either 25 cents or $4 at some point. Not sure which one. But let's go ahead and open it up. That's what that cassette looks like. Sort of one of the off-white ones. This is side 2, side 1. And here is the little pamphlet. I'm gonna go back and forth in saying pamphlet and leaflet because it's essentially the same thing. This one's a bit longer because we have some fun pictures of the late great Mike. He's sort of just doing his thing. Really love how big his hand is there. Alright, and on the other side of those lovely pictures, we have sort of the songs and credits to them. Again, this is a bit more in-depth than the Lost Boys one. Let's get started on this list. Of course, we're starting off with side 1. We have Bad. Of course, you gotta start off the name of the album with the title song. And then we have, I think, one of my personal favorite Michael songs, The Way You Make Me Feel. I think for me most of his songs, especially around the 80s and 90s, super catchy, obviously. We all know that. But I think The Way You Make Me Feel is probably the one that gets stuck in my head the most. I don't know, I just have a lot of love for that specific song. So I would have to say that's probably my favorite Michael Jackson song. Because it's, it's fun and it's addictive, as every good 80s pop song should be. Then we have Speed Demon. And then after that, we have another one of my favorites off this album, which is one of the underrated songs, which is Liberian Girl. It's sort of more relaxing than sort of upbeat and catchy. I find that more like chill compared to the rest of the songs on here, which might make it on the underrated side. But I think that song's really fun too. The next song is Just Good Friends. And then after that, we have Another Part of Me. We got Man in the Mirror, iconic. I Just Can't Stop Loving You. Then we have Dirty Diana. I have to say, with Dirty Diana, it's hard to say the title of that without wanting to sing it like he did. Then we have Smooth Criminal. That's sort of the last song on the album. Good song to end on. Let's move on to our next cassette. Next up, another 80s icon, Miss Cyndi Lauper. This is sort of her debut album. She's So Unusual. And this came out in 1983, so it's a bit older than Bad and the Lost Boys soundtrack. Again, this was more than likely bought at the same place, considering they have the same little price tag. You can tell also, I don't know if you noticed, you probably did, that these are definitely sort of well-loved, considering all the cracks on the cases. That's something about cassettes that's sort of hard to maintain, is the plastic cases that come in them. They're very fragile and you'll forget that they're there and you'll step on them or throw them in your bag or your pocket and they just get ruined. But I find that just builds character and shows that how much you really love your music. Let's go ahead and check it out. And this is also another sort of off-white cassette. That's side 1 and that is side 2. Alright, let's look at the pamphlet. This one doesn't have the sort of song list on here. It's more of a simple one. And it just has the song list right here. It doesn't really have the credits or anything, but I mean, we really only have to credit Cyndi Lauper, I guess. So the first song is Money Changes Everything, which is a true sentiment. It's very true, unfortunately. And then next is the absolute classic, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which is a fantastic sort of feminist song. It's sort of a song that it's for the girls, the gays, and the days, in my mind. And then next is When You Were Mine. And then after that is Time After Time. Some sadder songs there, but also I love Time After Time. If you watched Napoleon Dynamite, then you probably love Time After Time too, but generally speaking, a really good sort of love ballad. Again, sort of a sad song, but also a happy song. It's like a sad, happy song. I kind of enjoy sad, happy songs for some reason. She sort of picks it up after that with She Bop. Now, She Bop's a really fun song. Really fun, really catchy. Then we have All Through the Night. And then Witness. And after that, I'll Kiss You. Ooh. He's So Unusual. And Yeah, I would have to say I like Time After Time and She Bop probably the most on here. But of course, Girls Just Want to Have Fun is super iconic. Also, I just love the colors on here. The way she sort of pops out with the red and how it matches her name there. I don't know, it just looks so nice to look at. Let's go ahead and put her back and move on to the next cassette. Next up is I found this at a thrift store some time ago, which, by the way, these two particular ones were part of Vic's collection. Not sure where they got them. Probably from thrift stores, I assume, because other than online shopping, it's kind of the only place that sells these type of things. Or maybe like a record store would sell them, but I digress. This is a good find. It is Toto, Past to Present, 1977 through 1990. And this has songs that were, up until this point in the 90s, were unreleased, so they sort of stuck some quintessential classic songs from Toto with songs that hadn't yet been released yet. Again, up until that point. Obviously, they're out now, and they've been out for a while. Let's go ahead and take a look in here. It sort of covers up the whole cassette. The leaflet in there. There it is. It's one of those clear ones with the gray inserts in there. It's side 1 and side 2. Let's go ahead and take this guy out. This is the song list here, track list. If you didn't know, they had sort of several different vocalists for the different songs. So some people sort of have their favorites of the vocalist for Toto. I don't particularly have an opinion on that, but I know some people do because maybe they're more diehard fans of the band. But we're going to start with their first track, which is Love Has the Power, which I have to say about these songs and just Toto songs in general, like over the years, they have such a different sound to all of them for the most part. Like, they're pretty versatile when it comes to their sound over the years, which I find really fun because you kind of get a little bit of everything with them. And Love Has the Power is very similar to like a 80s Michael Jackson song. It's kind of has like a sort of Michael Jackson feel to it. And I think it has some kind of connection to Michael Jackson. I don't totally know. I didn't do all my research on that, but I'm sure somebody can look it up later. But it definitely has that feel to it, which makes it really good. And of course, next up is pretty much everybody's favorite song, sort of the ultimate vibe, which is Africa. I mean, again, just from that one song, Love Has the Power, to Africa, it's a totally different sound. But Africa is sort of one of those songs where everybody sort of vibes to it and everybody likes it. I don't know one person who doesn't like that song. And next after that is Hold the Line, which is another song that I feel like most people enjoy, no matter who you are. Really catchy, classic. That's sort of more of their, I guess, more rock songs, more rock, heavier on the rock sound. I'm not good at explaining things, but yeah. And then Out of Love, and then after that, Georgie Porgy. Georgie Porgy's one of my faves on here. That's a pretty fun song. It's on the groovier side. It's definitely funkier. I kind of like their songs that have a bit of funk to them. A lot of their funkier songs has really good bass lines on there, because you kind of have to when it comes to funk. And then the next one is I'll Be Over You. Then Can You Hear What I'm Saying? A lot of the sort of songs like that are just more sort of what you would call like an 80s soft rock sort of love ballad. The one you would like hear on the CD ads. That kind of music, which I don't know about you, but is always good to me. Next is Rosanna, which, other than Hold the Line and Africa, probably one of the catchier songs. Super catchy. Definitely gets stuck in my head all the time. So, which is a good thing, because it's a good song. And then I Won't Hold You Back. And then Stop Loving You. Again, some more of that 80s love ballad, soft rock kind of thing. And then after that is Pamela, which, fun fact, is my grandmother's name, which is fun. And that's a pretty, that's like a cute sort of, I think it's cute. It's like a cute sort of 80s rock love song. It's more of a funner one than like a soft rock kind of ballad type song. And then we ended off with Animal. And if you were wondering, the songs that were previously unreleased were Animal, Can You Hear What I'm Saying, and Out of Love. Obviously they've been released, but that was, in the 90s. They were previously unreleased until they came out with this. All right, on to the next. Our second to last, but not quite least, cassette is Britney Spears' Baby One More Time. Now this particular cassette is a repro cassette. This is something I bought probably a couple years ago. Let's see if it says the year on here. 2018. This was released in 2018. I can't remember where I bought it. It might have just been like Target or something like that. But Britney is an absolute icon. I know there's sort of either you hate Britney Spears or you absolutely love her, and I'm on the spectrum of absolutely loving her. And this cassette is just as iconic as she is, because it's pink. I love that it's pink. Let's go ahead and open it up. And it definitely has a nicer feel to it because it's a newer cassette instead of a one from the 90s. This one is side A and side B. And I absolutely love the pamphlet that comes with this one because it has some pictures of her in there. Quite a few. As you can see, I think this one is the biggest pamphlet of them all, as it should be, because she's a queen. And here are some really cute pictures of her back in the day. Very 90s. Adorable. I also loved, even back then, I loved the colors that they used for this, sort of the pastels. There's a pastel sort of peachy pink, a pastel blue, pastel green, a lilac, and a really pale yellow. Just looks really nice. It reminds me of like Smarties, like candy, which makes sense for such a sweet, sugary type of music. But let's go on to the song lists. Of course, we gotta start off with Baby One More Time. Just like Bad, we're starting off with the title song of the album. And, I mean, what more do you need to say about Baby One More Time? The second song is actually my favorite song from not only this album, but I think from Britney in general, is You Drive Me Crazy. I love that song. It's so nostalgic, and specifically the music video version just hits me right there, and it takes me back. I absolutely adore that music video. Her outfits and hair, iconic, and the dance moves, iconic. Next song is Sometimes, and after that is Soda Pop. I actually really like that song. It's sort of a, I guess, cheesy sort of reggae song. Because for some reason in the 90s, there's a lot of sort of pop songs that had a reggae feel to them. I'm not sure why. That was just like a thing. But Soda Pop was sort of Britney's take on that. And it's just like a really kind of cute, simple song. I mean, it's literally called Soda Pop. Again, that very like sugary kind of feel to it. Sugary sweet. Then we have Born to Make You Happy, From the Bottom of My Broken Heart. Some of these songs are really sad, actually. Sort of like, again, sad love ballads that get you in that mood. You're like, I feel you, Britney. I am one with you. And then we're on to side B, and it starts off with I Will Be There. And then next is I Will Still Love You, which is a duet with Don Philip, or Philippe. I think it's Philip. And after that is Thinking About You. And after that is Email My Heart. Oh my god. That song is so 90s because email has just become a thing, because this came out in 1999, so email was a big deal. So that's very like dated and of the time. Email My Heart, also just a really cute song. And then the last song is a cover, which is The Beat Goes On, which people have a lot of problems with Britney covering songs, but I don't mind it so much. I mean, I get it. But The Beat Goes On is originally, is it really originally Sonny and Cher? It might not be, but it might be originally a Sonny and Cher song, and if it is a cover, I absolutely love that version of that song. But I don't mind the sort of 90s pop remake of it. Again, because it just sort of reminds you of the time it came out. It's very nostalgic. Hence why I love Britney so much. Because I grew up listening to her around that time. But on to our last cassette for this video. Fun fact though, I actually own this exact album on vinyl as well. I have a vinyl picture disc of this album because I feel it as though my duty as a gay to own this exact album on every form of media I can get my hands on. I don't have the CD that's next on my list. And then after that, I would probably have to get like the hit clip versions of her songs. Alright, our last and probably most classic cassette on our list here is a Frank Sinatra sort of compilation cassette. It would be very wrong of me to step foot in a thrift store and not get Frank Sinatra because I'm Italian. And as an Italian, it's part of my culture to listen to sort of crooner singers like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, sort of the Rat Pack fellas. I would get my Italian card taken away if I didn't buy this, so I saw this at the thrift store and I was like, yep, I gotta have it. And this has pretty much all of my favorite Sinatra songs on there, which we love to see. But let's go ahead and open them up. It's called Frank Sinatra's Gold, which is absolutely true. Here is another one of those clear cassettes with the silver or gray inserts. This one's a little different though than the rest of them. Here's, they say program instead of side, or yeah, instead of side. So there's program 1 and program 2. I think that's sort of to appeal to an older audience. I think program is more of a old school way of saying it. But let's look at the pamphlet. Pretty simple. Has the song list right here. This particular cassette came out in 1983, so I think Cyndi Lauper came out in that same time, right? Yeah, Cyndi Lauper and this came out at the same time. So program 1 starts off with Young at Heart, and then Witchcraft. Love that song. Definitely a song to put on a Halloween playlist. It's not necessarily spooky, but it's fun. We have Nice and Easy, My Funny Valentine. Absolutely adore that song. And I Get a Kick Out of You, again, a song I absolutely adore. The Lady is a Tramp. That one's fun. That's always a fun song, no matter who's singing it. All the Way, 3 Coins in the Fountain, and another one of my personal favorites, I've Got You Under My Skin. Now, as far as my favorite goes, that's a tough one. It would probably have to be I've Got You Under My Skin. That's such a nice song. And it's a good song to end it off on. But yeah. That was my collection of sort of throwback cassettes. I kind of want to make a part 2 of this video because it's getting a little long. And I wanted to talk about the mixtapes that I make, because I do get sort of blank cassettes. This is just a blank one. And I put my own songs on it, like how people used to do it back in the day. But I wanted to do a whole separate video on that, talking about those and what songs I put on there, because I have quite a collection now. That'll be for another day. So I guess we have reached the end of this video. I hope it's not too long. I have to go edit this immediately so I can upload it as soon as possible for your listening and viewing pleasure. Go ahead and feel free to give me a like, subscribe would be nice, and don't be afraid to put some comments for either some of your favorite songs off these albums or these musicians or bands, or go ahead and shoot me some ideas for videos if you so desire. Watch out for part 2 of my cassette videos. This is Captain signing off. Here's the... Bless you.